want to welcome you back. Happy 2018. I have a couple of announcements to make. I want to give you an overview, and then we're going to get into Caroline's presentation, and that will be kind of what we did. We did this a year ago where we kind of recapped what the center did and the library statistics, so you can kind of see and gauge excuse me, how your students and whose students are using the library and how well they're using our resources, I think is the main point of that presentation. And we had a few interesting, I think, statistics. And of course, Caroline, not as much as Caroline, is kind of crazy when it comes to statistics and what they mean and how they can. We're just crazy, point blank. But when it comes to statistics, Caroline kind of wins the race there. Yeah, she loves it. Kind of like I love theory, but you'll learn about that here at the 10 o'clock hour. But it's interesting to see how we were able to compare a year ago and the services that the center provided to this year and our growth. And when you have such a small, close-knit family of faculty, we're small, so you don't expect big numbers, but it's surprising how many numbers we have in our sets. It's pretty cool little presentation. So how FDI is going to work for the spring, for this FDI, is very similar to what we did a year ago. A year ago we met once and then the rest was online, but the rest was online within a couple of days. Well, that's unreasonable. So, but it was reasonable a year ago when I thought of it. This year, it's spread over 7 weeks. Okay? All right? Now, this is only going to work if you participate in the online portion. You're only going to get out of this what you put in. It's exactly the same thing you all tell your students. Okay? Especially in the online environment, because it's easy to forget. Except you will see me around and I'll be like, hey, that would be the one difference. But we've got we kind of went a little bit different route, and we're looking more here for things that you can apply directly into your teaching repertoire. We're covering 3 instructional strategies. Problem-based learning, information lit, and web enhancing your course. So for all of you who teach in-seat only but want to use Moodle to support your in-seat course, that will be one of the things. So there's 3 modules is what, I know we have module classes here, but normally learning weeks in an online environment are called modules, and so we're going to go with that term. You have 3 different modules, an introductory module, and then you have 3 instructional strategies, 1 every 2 weeks. So a week of introduction, then 2, 2, and 2. Now, if you want to know exactly what is going on in the course, you have to register to access the syllabus. Basically, if you log into Moodle and you see the Hitchhiker's Guide to Instructional Strategy listed in your list of my courses, that means you've done it correctly. So if not, you can check with me. And if I can get Moodle up, I'll be happy. So let me, while Caroline's pulling up the course, let me tell you another change we're making in the center with regards to faculty development. So we've done our time, our little department here, and we decided it's time to outreach to our faculty members to help support faculty development progress, and so that we actually help you in a way that you all need to be helped. So that we formed a faculty development advisory board, and there's 6 of us, I think, or something. And I'm going to let Sarah Whiteford, who's a member, talk a little bit about it and tell you about our first lunch and learn.
Okay, while they're getting set up. As Ellen said, last semester we put together a faculty development advisory board. We've met a couple times. One of the goals is to kind of put the learning in the hands of the faculty, where we tell the center what kind of things we would like to learn about, what kind of skills certain faculty have that they would like to share with the rest of us, things like that. And so what we thought we would do is our first lunch and learn this spring is hopefully going to be very well attended by you all, because this is your chance to have a voice. We made a massive list of multiple options, themes that we could go with, different things we could talk about within those themes. But we thought the biggest thing is to hear from you all the kind of things you would like to learn about, the kind of things you think you need help with. They can be very, very specific things. How to make my own quizzes in Moodle if you've never done something like that, versus things a little more broadly. How do I start thinking about putting together a study abroad program for a couple years down the road? They could be things like easiest ways to take attendance in class. They could be a variety of things. And so what we want to do is the first lunch and learn will be February 2nd. And we're going to go with for right now, we're going to go with the Friday thing. Go in, get your $4 lunch, come to the little conference room there off the side, and we'll do that again. One of the things we'll talk about at that meeting as well, though, is what kind of time and scheduling works best for everyone. Do you want it on that Friday at lunch hour? Do you want it on a Friday afternoon, first Friday of the month? Would you rather it Tuesday evenings in webinar form? But that we'll talk to you then about 2 things really. One being how and when you want these offered, and the second being topics that you would like to see offered. Now, this is not just even for this semester's faculty development. This is for the next year or 2 to come. Where do you see this going? What kind of things do you think you need the most help with, so that we can put together, so that we, the faculty, more than anything, have a voice in letting them know what we would find most helpful in these types of sessions, okay? So we're getting the most out of it that we can. Sound good? Okay, so if you guys would, think a little bit about some ideas, things, areas you know that you need help with, and come to that lunch and learn on the 2nd. We'll send out an email reminder.
Yeah, we'll do our announcements and stuff, but definitely bring your ideas. I guess, negative reinforcement is not something you really want to practice in education, but if you don't come,
you're going to get whatever we put together.
All right, we are going to, let me show you this.
I'll drive.
Okay. So here we've got the Hitchhiker's Guide to Instructional Strategies. Now this is a part 1, and where I would like to take this is the next time we do 3 more instructional strategies. So each time we're hitting and kind of filling up the teacher toolbox. And the next set of strategies I'm hoping will come from this conversation that we have about faculty development, so that I can get ideas of what types of strategies you need help with, or you want to learn, you've heard of it, but you don't know how to pull it off, that sort of thing.
So if you see this in your course list, then you're successfully enrolled.
Yeah.
If not, contact the center and we'll help you.
Yeah, we'll help you out. I didn't come on. But, alrighty, so you just have your syllabus. The module objectives, this is a document that I use in my class. And just because when you get into the syllabus and you start putting when things are due in every assignment, if you want it all out there for students, then your syllabus looks like a nursing syllabus. And I prefer small girl, small syllabus, that sort of route. So I have all of my objectives and everything that the students are going to turn in and that sort of thing listed in a separate document, but that's what those 2 are. Please do, I know we all know each other, but please do these introductions, okay?
We tried to make it fun.
Yeah, we did try to make it fun, and we're modeling good online class behavior. What's your problem? Problem-based learning. Here you'll have a discussion forum and we're going to do a little Padlet exercise, kind of quick thoughts of what you think. So no big deal, just a discussion forum. You have 2 weeks to get this done and a little Padlet. Now, one thing about Padlet, I know Caroline has showed you, they're just little Post-it notes. And so we don't want to write a book on a Post-it note, but if something occurs where you're really interested in whatever somebody wrote, there is a Padlet forum to go past the Padlet wall. You can continue the conversation there. So what's your problem? Libraries solve problems. And so that's your information. Literacy.
Little introduction to the library, maybe some resources that you guys weren't aware of, and then an introduction to how librarians can help your students become information literate people and digitally literate people.
Which after the stats, you may want to
think about that a little
bit.
You'll see.
And then we have had a plethora of people contact our office and say, hey, I've got this NC class. I want to use Moodle. How do I do it? Well, untangling the web enhanced course, that's where we're going to go over some different ideas and kind of put a framework out there of when you want to use your learning management system, our Moodle, to support your NC or hybrid course, what areas will that happen? And then we have a course design layout. So when you open up a web page, and we've all done this before, especially back in the late 90s or mid-90s, you're like, oh God, this is hideous. Well, we don't want our students looking at our Moodle pages thinking the same thing, okay? So these are just little design tips, like physical design tips, to help your course look more visually pleasing. So that's it.
And what I think is really cool about that is that's applicable, especially if you're a manager, a course manager, and you have to make your master's. After you look at that, then kind of look at the course that you're the master of and think to yourself, am I doing the best job that I can? Yeah. You're all doing good jobs.
Right.
Are you doing the best job that you can? It might give you some really cool ideas for the courses that you're managing.
Well, and who has ever talked to you about best practices about web design? You know, like, that's not something we sit down and talk about. You know, normally it's about teaching and what technology you're using, but, you know, when you're looking at the screen, what's the best way to get our information across to our students? So that's what that is. Okay, then we'll go on an evaluation and